everybody. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, guys. Good afternoon, good evening.
Oh my goodness, what a weekend this has been so far, huh?
It has. We were talking in the green room, and if it's all right with you guys, and if it's all right with the chats, we just want to pay our respects to Admiral.
Yeah, to the Admiral. It was such shocking news to get yesterday that he had left us. So yeah, like Purple said, if it's okay with you guys, we want to take just a moment of silence and pay our respects. So thanks everybody.
Thank you,
really
guys.
Appreciate it. If Mrs. Doom is listening, we are here for you. Anything you need, all you have to do is send up a signal and we'll be there for you. Rambling Canuck, anybody in the community, we're here to help. So anything you need, we'll be there. Honest engine, swear. On a stack of Bibles, we will be there for you. Thank you, Colin P. Smith, for putting some candles in the chat.
Thank you, guys.
Really sweet. So,
gosh.
Yeah, rest in peace, my friend. Yeah. That was hard news to get. Wow. But the show must go on. I don't think Admiral Doom would allow us to not carry on. I think he would come down and probably beat us with a stick if we didn't.
I think you're right. Absolutely. So thank you, guys. We really do appreciate it. And
yeah, thank you, guys.
Let's say good afternoon and welcome to our panel.
Yeah, good afternoon. Dave Bob is with us, and Mark the Infinitely Tired, and Generalissimo Jefe. Seems like
Hello,
Purple
everyone.
is surrounded by Southerners today.
I am. I'm the odd one out today, but that's okay.
Well, the chat probably outweighs us in the British viewers than the Southern people in the chat. So we may be surrounded.
I know, we may be surrounded after all. Where's Robert Pearson when we need him?
He hasn't watched this episode of WandaVision, so he's not going to be here. He has not.
Okay. I had a feeling. It's been 3 days since it dropped. Give me this. What, Jeff?
I said we even gave him a couple of extra days. We didn't just do this on the night it dropped.
Yeah.
Shall we say hello to the chat before we jump into the review?
Yes, we should. Yeah. Awesome. Oh my gosh, I have to scroll up. I'm not. Darth Haster is here, so thank heaven. I think he was saying hail to Cardinal Sin and hail to Bone. I don't know where they've gone, but they're here somewhere, I'm sure.
Yes, there was some confusion earlier on. That was my fault. Originally, it was going to be set up for tomorrow, so the time was correct, but the day wasn't. I changed the day, but not the time. So I had to go back and change the time.
Whoops. Well, because we're so used to being on Monday at 10 a.m. I mean, we still will be.
Oh, yeah. This is just an extra.
This is just a spare. Colin P. Smith, good afternoon, sweetheart. How are you? And Generalissimo Jefe, he's in the chat and he's down there too. So, and he's across the hall. Jason Gallagher, hello. How are you? Dr. Herc Monkey.
Hey guys, welcome.
Who else is hanging out with us, babe?
We've got Louise, we've got Cardinal Sin, hey guys, and we've got Steve Mitchum, welcome, good to see you. Cavatenio Che, always a pleasure. Hey, sweetheart. Ren Zero, hey.
Hey, Ren Zero.
How's it going? Oh, and I know what else we nearly forgot. Happy birthday, Mr. Hyde. It was...
Happy birthday.
That's right, happy birthday.
It was on Friday and we didn't realise until after the show. I was like, oh, honey.
He didn't say anything until after the show. I was like, dude.
We would have killed you out on the day if you'd known. I didn't realise. But happy birthday. I hope you had a good one.
Oh my God. Yeah, Cavatinho Che, hello. And SRB just got in under the wire.
Hey guys, welcome. Good to see you all. Thank you for joining us.
Making sure we didn't miss anybody.
And Dee Dee, welcome.
Oh, hey, Dee Dee Myers.
Dee Dee.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, is Mr. Hyde even in our chat yet? He probably will be. Probably heard the call.
Yes, I know they were doing a script reading, so they might still be doing that at the moment.
Ah, that's right. It's script
pretty
reading
cool.
day.
It is,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So should we get started on this
I think
mess
so.
called WandaVision? It wasn't a mess per se. It was a really weird episode.
Very
It was. Yeah. It's definitely taken a turn for the more sinister in episode 3.
Oh yeah, it got
Definitely.
dark real quick.
Yeah. I mean, it was very cool to do the throwback to the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family. I thought that was really awesome.
Yes.
I love that it was in color and they went with the 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah. Wasn't that awesome? Oh my God.
That was kind of weird because once you see it, you have to, your eyes have to adjust to it. It's like this big lines down either side of the screen.
Yeah, it's something we're not used to because we finally caught up with the aspect ratio. So now we don't really have to worry about it too much. But yeah, it was just like, whoa. Eyes, adjust for this, would you please?
So was that well done? Harkening back to, as you say, the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family, was that pretty much spot on how they did it again?
Yeah, pretty much.
I
I mean, the color up of the 70s was just so
Vivid.
in your face.
I love Wanda's hair. It was just ironed. The thing didn't move. She turned and the hair just went in one direction.
Yep. It was iron flat.
And don't forget all the polyester that was that everybody was wearing too. It was light a fire in that set, and it was gone.
It's like, did they have fire extinguishers standing by? It's just like, oh, all that poly. Nice.
But there was a lot of odd things that went on in that episode. I don't want to cut into it before y'all do, but I noticed a bunch of things in this episode. These shows are nothing but giant Easter eggs for the comic books to me.
Oh yeah.
More so than
Oh
the
God.
MCU.
Well, if you saw them, knock them out because I've probably missed them, and I've only watched the episode twice. I know.
I
Hashtag
don't
cancel Sammy.
I don't want to take over anything. I'm gonna let you guys talk before I.
No, it's
put my 2 cents in.
fine. I mean, if you saw something that we didn't see, and you probably did, by all means, call it out, Mark.
Okay, but
He's like, okay.
I'll do it. But I'm gonna let you get to it before I jump into it because I don't want to cut. If there's something that you guys want to talk about, then I'll when we get to that point, I'll say something.
Yeah, Dr. Hercumonkey, definitely the Brady Bunch stairs. Yeah. Yeah, the colors were popping. Mhm.
They really were. And even down to the attention to detail that they've given it, even down to the accessories that everyone's wearing. Like you said, the hair. Vision's hair, I was howling when he came out.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, honey.
I felt so bad for Paul Bettany. It's bad enough he's got to get all into that latex of Vision, but to put that wig on him and those sideburns, I was dying.
Why do you feel bad
Absolutely
for
dying.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I was dying. You were there.
I'm wearing that
And
on.
those glasses really set his face off.
Yeah. Dude, seriously, I'm busting that out for our next date night.
Oh, please don't. Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. So should we start as it kind of kicks off right at the beginning, because it pretty much picks up right where episode 2 ends. So they've just gone into colour. Obviously the entire set's changed with it. We're now in the 70s, late 60s.
At least the 70s, late 60s,
Yeah.
early 70s. Yeah.
Mhm.
That staircase was very Brady Bunch house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, just bell bottoms everywhere.
Mhm.
Oh, all the bell bottoms and the giant collars on the
Collars.
shirts. What did drive me nuts though was Vision's collar was not tucked into his sweater on one side, and I just kept like, fix it. My OCD kicked in, and it was just like, somebody fix it.
I was waiting for a leisure suit, but I don't remember seeing one.
I think the closest thing we got was the doctor's outfit. That's the
Yeah.
closest thing we got to the leisure suit.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of the suit that he had on when at the beginning of the episode, that plaid, I don't even know. I used to have a suit like that when I was a kid. That was that exact same color, I think.
Oh, Mark.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
with a turtleneck, no less. I mean,
Oh, buddy.
Which one of your aunts was bad enough to send you that one?
no,
Right.
that was my mom all the way. My mom and my grandma. I remember that. I mean, it itched, and I can remember it itched, and it was hot. And I mean, you talk about mobile, and it was for Easter, and in the South wearing that,
Oh.
it was terrible.
Oh my God.
You had to be dying.
It's when you
Oh,
do
You
yeah.
had to be absolutely dying.
Yep. But yeah, I remember stuff like that. So not well, being a kid is different than being an adult at that time. But yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I wore my fair share of polyester dresses shift dresses when I was a kid. So I remember polyester all too well.
I used to rock the bell bottoms all the time too back in the 70s.
I could see you in bell bottoms, Dave Bob.
Pixar, it didn't happen, Dave Bob.
Right? Oh, there's one.
Yeah, we there you go.
The snort count has started.
And we're off and running.
And we're off, kids. Okay.
But that episode, I mean, at the beginning of it, the part where Herb is outside and he's trimming the bushes, did anybody realize when he was cutting into the wall that might have symbolized that they were trying to somebody's
Yep.
trying to break through
Break out.
Mhm.
and
Yep.
break out? And I don't think the people of that town are exactly friendly. I think it's all nefarious with them. I do.
Yes.
Mm.
I
Well,
do not think anybody in that town is on their side at all.
Well, the doctor, at the end said that, he didn't
About
think
escaping.
it would escape.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But how
Yeah,
much
that
of
was
it-
pretty nefarious. That's where the episode really started to turn dark.
Mhm. But that was it. That was the line. It was small towns, hard to escape from.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
But I mean, it's just how much of it. I mean, we know it's starting to show who the two major players in the game in this this episode are as far as villains. If there is even truly a villain in this episode. I mean,
Yeah.
right now I thought there was one, but I'm not so sure there is one now. I
Mhm.
think it's everybody's in for themselves is what it is.
It seems to be. It's either a toss up. Are they here on their own volition, or have they been pulled in to populate this town that she's conjured up?
I think
some
they're-
of both.
Sometimes they act like they don't even know why they're here or anything.
Mhm.
I guess it just depends on what her mood is and whether she's rewinding or whatever.
Yeah, which
And-
she did do at least
Vision.
once. She
Vision.
ticked with
She got
Vision, and it was
Vision
like,
rewinded. Yeah.
oh,
Yes. With the pregnancy, it seems that her powers were going a little bit out of control. So she
Right.
was kind of struggling to keep on top of everything. So,
I loved it when the power went out and that lady was coming in and she said, do these earrings make me look fat? And all of a sudden the power goes off and he goes, oh, thank God.
yeah, I got a kick out of that one too.
But yeah,
Excuse me, sorry.
expecting Mephisto, that probably could happen, but I think it's more on the lines of right now, which my theory on House of M is completely blown. I was also hoping for a Mojo verse touch to it, but maybe not so much now. It could still happen, but it's right now after that episode, it just doesn't look like either one. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to all come together because it is one of those. It's getting more interesting as it goes.
Yes,
it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely going from the starting off nice and lighthearted, and now all of a sudden, as we get further into it, it's opening up the mysteries.
Yeah.
And there was also something that I'm sorry. Go ahead, Smith.
No, go ahead, sweetheart.
There was something I did miss in one of the previous episodes. There's a shadow at one point looking through a window. I think it was in the credits, and it's been mentioned that the Grim Reaper was that shadow. But I went back and looked at it too, and this is why I still hold the theory that the Mojoverse might be tied to it because Spiral wears the exact same helmet as the Grim Reaper does.
Yes, and that helmet showed up in the credits of episode 2.
I wondered what that was.
Yeah, it's somebody looking through. I think it was somebody. It was a shadow or looking through a window. I'm gonna have to go back and look again. I was told about it, and I went and looked at a captured picture of it, and that's why I still hold to the fact that this might be the Mojoverse.
Yes, I think they were kind of just dropping little kind of Easter eggs for House of M, but as you say, it doesn't seem to be that's the direction that they're going in. Which I'm not really sad about it, to be honest.
Yeah, either that or they're just trying to out-geek the geeks is what they're trying to do.
Right.
They're giving us enough hints to where they're keeping us on our toes, and it's going to go in a completely different direction.
It's overload.
Yeah.
There's a lot of information to cram into a half hour.
They're doing it perfectly well, in my opinion. I mean, there's not much that they're missing, especially with all the little commercials and stuff. And the Hydra commercial that they played in this week's episode really touches on what's happening in this episode too. It's a perfect example of what's going on.
Yeah, I did like the way that the pregnancy kept progressing. I thought that was pretty funny. So she starts off like 4 months, and then she's 6 months, and then she's 8 months, and she's out here, and she's turning and knocking things over.
And the dad joke with the papaya was funny too. That
was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I knew Jeff was going to appreciate that joke.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hail, Spike and Malice. I saw you pop up a while ago. I just wanted to say hi.
Hey, sweetheart. Wasn't
Mojo from the New Mutants originally, Mark?
X-Men and New Mutants. X-Men and New Mutants. It was originally he's an actually Long Shot is where he got his start at.
Okay. Darth Haster says Mojoverse is where Wanda creates her world in comics, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
I thought that was House of M.
That was House of M, and she basically wiped everything out and restarted everything, is what that was.
Yes. That was a hard reset.
A very hard one.
Got rid of all the mutants.
Yes. Pretty much. Did you think that the Doctor character was kind of sinister as well when he was brought in?
I kept wanting to place him somewhere. From where we've seen before, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or in some of the other Avengers movies or somewhere, even in Peggy Carter. I was looking for any sort of connection, but I never found one.
Honestly, I think he just wishes he was anywhere but there.
Yeah, he did have the air about him as someone who kind of just appeared there one day and wasn't sure what the hell was going on, but had to kind of make do with what with what he'd been brought. He was brought in through necessity because obviously she's now pregnant, whereas there probably wasn't a doctor before. There is one now.
I think he could have been brought in from whoever it is trying to keep control of Wanda as a doctor to keep an eye on her.
Could be.
Could be.
Just a thought.
What about Gerald? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave Bob. I don't.
Well, it was like people were kind of making almost like an assumption that the last week Vision's boss was almost like a psychologist or a psychoanalyst, trying to
Yeah.
get to the bottom of things.
Hmm.
And the one true person that actually is anybody special is Geraldine. If
Yeah.
anybody,
Yeah.
yes, Geraldine is a very big character. That if you caught who she really is, then
Yep.
it's gonna be if you didn't, it's a surprise. If you did, then you know where this is. You know what's gonna happen.
I think I did, but I'm not sure. And now I'm afraid to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for anybody in the chat.
Well,
I mean,
you kind of pick that up if you have any kind of a comic book knowledge at all. You probably
Right.
picked up on that.
and
I have
she is,
very limited, so
and the actress they picked for her is a dead ringer for that character.
Yep.
Is a dead ringer for that character. I'll spoil it if you want me to. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, we could throw Mark under the bus.
yeah. I think we touched on it last week, but carry on, Mark.
it's
I think
carry on.
I think we named her last week.
Mhm.
yeah,
We
it's
did,
Monica. It's Monica Rambeau. Is who it is.
Rambeau. Yeah.
Rambeau.
Yep.
That's Captain Marvel #2. Is
Yeah.
who she is.
Isn't she Ms. Marvel
No, Captain Marvel.
technically?
Captain Marvel.
Just Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
Okay.
She's the light version of Captain Marvel. It's not the. I didn't read that much Avengers at that time, but she took over the mantle after the original Marvel died. And
Gotcha. Okay.
she filled in the void with the name. The powers aren't the same, but the character in the Avengers, she took his place later on is what she did, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. I could be
Mhm.
wrong, but she is Captain Marvel #2.
Okay. See, that's where
Yeah.
I was getting a little confused because I know Monica Rambeau was a character in Captain Marvel, right? She was
Yes.
a child.
She was
Yes.
a child in that.
She's
Okay.
also an agent for Sword as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which we've been seeing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I wish they just would have gone with Shield because it's the same organization.
Yeah, I think we brought it up last time. I think it's been brought up on other streams as well. Shield is more kind of Earth-based, and then Sword is more kind of extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial.
And now that you brought
Off
that up,
planet.
that also brings back House of M and the Mojo verse as well. If
Exactly.
you have that kind of organization there, what's going to happen?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Kevin Feige's outdoing himself with this one. I mean, this is above what the Mandalorian pulled off, in my opinion. It just
Really?
is. Oh yeah, I'm thinking this is better than the Mandalorian. That's my opinion because you're guessing from story to story. You just don't know. The Mandalorian didn't give you that. It gave you a clear point A to point B with a couple of side adventures in between. This is
Okay.
giving you nothing but Easter eggs and theories. And
Mhm.
you're having to put it together yourself, which I love stuff like this.
So
Well, you know
WandaVision
that-
is perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is going to have to tie in with the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty much that's where they're heading with it. I think from what we've been told, it's all gonna head in this direction. Because I think even Phase 4, a lot of it is very kind of extra dimensional. Whereas Phase 3 was a lot of Earth based, and it was Guardians of the Galaxy. It was Captain Marvel, so it was kind of space based, and obviously Asgard. But I think Phase 4 is multiverse.
Hence Sword.
Mhm.
Sword. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All I want is the X-Men to join the MCU so Rogue can go up, grab Captain Marvel by the head, and drain her completely. That's
Oh, wouldn't
that's
that be
the-
that would be so
that's the
perfect.
scene I want to see. But I'm jumping way ahead in the future, so But now that Disney does have, I don't know if they have complete rights or sharing rights with for the X-Men. They
Mhm.
They are talking about them bringing them into the MCU.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
That or
So-
get the Dark Phoenix to blast her out of existence.
One can only hope. With Brie Larson, how about no?
Did you guys think that Wanda was a lot more sinister in this episode as well? I know
Yes.
she's pregnant, but she seems to be very after with the beekeeper, where she just rewinds and says no, she seems to be very on edge. So as soon as something comes up, she's on it immediately, like what she did with Vision.
Yep. And
Yeah.
also with Monica or Geraldine or Foxy. I think this episode she was Foxy.
She was Foxy Cleopatra, man. Check that afro at the door. I was like, holy shit, she looks fly.
Yeah. Well, it was funny when she came in. She called her Geraldine. She said, "Oh, you just called me Foxy."
It could be that she's more mother henning. And that's the reason why she's getting darker and darker, because she's protecting her reality. And now that she has children, she is going into overprotection. So it could balance out both ways, in my opinion.
Yes.
You're right. It is getting darker and darker as that episode went on.
It was just little things it picked up on. I mean, a couple of times she made animals come to life. So the butterflies, for example. Mm-hmm. And one of the butterflies that lands on Vision is a monarch butterfly.
No.
And monarchs are synonymous with mind control.
I didn't know that.
I went totally Venture Brothers on that one.
Yeah, you did.
Dr.
All of a sudden, Generalissimo Hefe's just screaming out, "The Mighty Monarch!" I'm like, oh, wrong show. You dicks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Her powers were definitely glitching, because when she kept trying to get rid of that stork, and she'd throw it out there, and wave wings and just walk right through it.
Yeah,
which is weird, because why did her magic work on a bunch of other stuff but not the stork?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's some hidden meaning there.
It's the it's the symbolism of the children, because if those twins are like the twins in the comic book, Wanda is nothing compared to those two.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's going to get a little bit interesting if they go that route and they actually base it off the kids from the comic books, because they're a little bit more powerful than she is.
Really?
Yes. Would you believe? Yes.
So in the comic books, we're talking all the old TV shows, and I remember in Bewitched, Tabitha had powers as a baby, but wasn't quite sure how to use them and would get into all kinds of crazy antics and all that stuff. Did something similar happen with Wanda's kids in the books?
And there's two different stories, and I didn't read the later stories because I got out of comics right as House of M was ending. And I know from the originals that they were a creation solely made by her, and that their power was basically derived off of hers, but they could control it. But it got out of control, I think, with their emotions. I could be wrong. Chat, if anybody is an Avengers fan or a Wanda and Scarlet, read the Wanda and Scarlet Witch comics, let us know, because me reading those was back in, I want to say, the late 80s, mid to late 80s. So you're asking me to remember from 35 years ago. And, 1989 to 1992 is kind of a blank period for me. So,
I feel you, Mark.
But
same.
There's a lot to do with that, and I would highly recommend picking up that limited run, that limited series, because that can answer a lot of questions that everybody has.
Okay.
Yes, and I did also like the arguing between Wanda and Vision about the names of what the baby was going to be called. So Vision said he wanted Billy after William Shakespeare. Wanda said she wanted Tommy because it's an all-American name. And even that, it's kind of Billy, it's like all the world's a stage, so it's acting, it's all pretend. Wanda wanted it very grounded.
Yes.
So it's that kind of friction between them as well that was kind of odd.
But a Tommy was a British soldier. So, that's an incredibly English name.
You and your little bits of useless knowledge. I swear to God.
Yeah, I was trying to rack my brains. Is there anything behind the names? But I don't think there is. I think they just picked two. And it was kind of strange that they went for two boys' names. They didn't have any alternate girl names.
No. Well, aren't the twins in the comic book supposed to be a girl and a boy?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a girl and a boy in the comics.
Yeah.
Okay. So where they're taking this, at least with the twins, this is interesting.
Yeah, I love it when she said, "I was a twin."
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, here we go.
That's when the episode took the sinister turn.
Very, very dark turn then.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Dan says no, they were both boys in the comics.
Ah.
Okay.
So I know one was Wiccan, and I can't remember the other one.
Speed
neither.
was the other one.
Speed.
Wiccan and Speed, because they were based off of both the characters. I just didn't remember what the sex of the children were.
Ah, cool.
I didn't either.
This is the perfect show for me because I'm flying blind beyond, what I know of you from what you guys have told me. So,
Well, you got to remember too, most of this stuff happened, like Mark said, 35, 40 years ago. So it's kind of hard to remember that back that far.
That's true. Chris Persia says the kids were created by Wanda with the help of Agatha Harkness, but their souls were actually shards of Mephisto. Oh, which might explain the sword connection in the series.
Yes. See, I think they are angling towards the Mephisto connection, and I'd be very interested to see if they do actually manage to bring the character in and what they do with him. But I think that's a character they would save till the films, not the TV series, although he might be hinted at.
Yeah, I think they would save that for Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
In some way. I mean, that's what seems to make sense. Now, I've been wrong before, and who the hell knows what Kevin Feige's up to? So, but he's nailing it out of the park with this series because it's keeping me interested. It's making me want to read House of M.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that's on my to-do reading list. Cardinal Sin says when Wanda mentioned she was a twin, she said her other twin was a brother. And Geraldine mentioned that he was killed by Ultron, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Like she was almost coming out of a fog or something, coming out of whatever spell she was under. And when she said it, and after she said it, she regretted it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she started to backtrack, and it was like, uh-oh, she's glitching. What's happening?
But by then it was too late. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and she had that pendant on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which was sword.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I was like, oh, shit. What the hell is Wanda going to do with her? That was my first thought, was what the hell is Wanda going to do with her?
She would have tucked that down kind of inside her.
Yeah.
Sort of having it on display, but who knows?
Because I didn't, until the second viewing, I didn't notice it until she had already had it on and Wanda says, "What's that?" That was in the first time I watched it. The second time, I did notice it on her when she walked into the house. So I'm like, oh.
Yes.
Oh.
And another interesting thing that could come out of this with her warping reality is that she could do a what if universe as well, because now that they've started talking about what's the guy's name who played Captain America? I'm having brain fart.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans coming back to play the Hydra Captain. And who knows, she could warp reality to where all of them came back to life, just redoing the House of M with the Avengers and bring everybody back that died.
Yeah.
But it would be completely different characters, which that could be leading to that too. I mean, this could go any direction at the moment, especially if they add Mephisto in, like Purple said. I mean, this could have repercussions across the entire MCU and reset the MCU as well.
Yes. So
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the multiverse.
I mean, if you think about it.
We're going to be dealing with a lot of multiverse in Phase 4, from what I understand. And starting with Doctor Strange. Now, who knows when we're going to get that? We haven't even gotten Black Widow yet.
No, that's true.
And
know.
who's to say that couldn't be refilming to add her back into the MCU as well? Then that could be another reason why we haven't gotten it, and they're resetting that as well, or as a gateway to get back into the MCU.
Mm-hmm. There is quite a few films in the lineup. I think Black Panther was mentioned a few days ago, so there's a little bit more information about that.
Yeah.
But still, there's no kind of date as to when it's coming out. I think, like you say, Doctor Strange is coming. There should be another Guardians film coming.
Mm-hmm.
The Immortals aren't the, what is it? Oh man, I'm having so many. I have not looked. I should have looked it over. It's the Eternals. That's another.
Eternals.
That's another big question mark. How do they fit in? Because you bring them in, and does that bring the Celestials and the High Evolutionary in as well?
Mm-hmm.
So
the High Evolutionary is the one that actually created Bova that raised Wanda and Pietro, wasn't it?
Yep.
I'm learning so much. This is exciting.
And the little song that she sang was one that Bova sang to her in the comics.
Yeah.
I wondered where that came from.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, a lot of heavily leaning into comics. This is leaning into the comics heavily, but they're going their own direction, which I like because it's cutting a different path, and it has elements of a lot of stories. I mean, it's just not one story; it's leaning on a lot right now.
Yes, I do like that they're drawing from the source material, though.
Oh yeah,
that's really cool.
Well, they're doing a lot of picking and choosing, just like they did over in Star Wars with the EU.
I can't believe they're finally doing anything with the extended universe, but they're not. There's just so much to pick from, and they had to make 3 shitty movies. I don't know what that was about.
What's the old saying? Hindsight is 20/20.
20, yeah. 2020 sucked, Mark.
Brent says the Eternals were scheduled to air before WandaVision.
Huh.
It was?
I didn't know that.
Wait, I thought the Eternals was going to be a film. So it was going to be a TV show?
I thought it was
that format?
Too.
I thought it was a movie as well.
Yeah,
okay.
I did too.
Because it's part of Phase 4. Was it Phase 4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phase 4.
Yeah, I thought it was a movie like after Doctor Strange. It was a follow-up to Doctor Strange because
okay.
That's just my thoughts, but I didn't exactly look at it and follow the path of where everything was going. And also, I like the addition that model, that statue that's behind purple, was mentioned as the villain in Black Panther too. Sorry to change the subject, but Doctor Doom has been mentioned in the MCU now. So
yes,
that has a lot of ties. And that has a lot of ties to Mephisto as well. Sorry, Purple. I'll let you have it.
He does.
Sorry.
Yes. If he does get introduced, I think he would just be a very minor character. He would just be introduced at the end, the way they did with Thanos, I think. But he's supposed to be the kind of like driving force between the fight between Wakanda and Atlantis, because they're bringing in Namor as well, the Submariner.
Oh wow,
Submariner, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was from a long time. I think that one started in the 40s.
The Submariner?
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is the first I'm hearing about all of this shit, so I'm just like, yes, bring it.
See, the Submariner has strong ties to the Fantastic Four as well, which they also have the rights to now.
Ah, okay. The Ren Zero says the Eternals should have been out last November.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Huh.
Well, shit. Oh, okay, Chris. The Eternals is listed as a 2021 movie, although WandaVision and Loki are part of Phase 4, even though they're not movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Loki's just a bait and switch.
Yeah.
think so too. I don't even think it's going to have that much of a connection to that Thor Love and Thunder, is it? Where Jane Foster becomes
I'm not
Thor.
looking forward to that.
It's one of those I kind of forgot was happening, and then it's like, oh yeah.
What they should have done with
Oh yeah,
Thor
look at
was
that.
what they should have done with Thor was, and they showed him in Ragnarok, was bring Beta Ray Bill in as the next Thor. If they were going to do another Thor, just do it like the comics and bring the next successor into the line.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a misstep to do the Jane Foster Thor, but it's like,
I agree, but I'm going to watch Loki because there might be something that does tie into this that might be a critical key to it. So who knows? I mean, whether it's good or not, we'll see.
I'll still watch it. I mean, Tom Hiddleston is in it, but he's not in it as nearly as much as the
He's
trailer
not in it.
implies. Yeah, I think. Because if you watch that trailer, he's in almost every scene, and you think, "Oh my god, it's Tom Hiddleston playing Loki." You'd say, "No, he's only playing him for a little bit."
I think he's like narration too, right? He's a narrator. Yeah, Ren Zero, the Jane Foster Thor is going to suck big time, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. A movie nobody wants.
What did you
Nobody
guys
wants that.
think of the kind of the ending of this particular episode? Because as it kind of built, obviously she turns on Geraldine because she's kind of been shocked into being her past or her reality has been brought up. So she thinks that nobody knows what actually went on. But clearly it's either
That part
Geraldine
scared me.
she's been brought in from the outside and has just got thrown back out, or she
Yeah.
shouldn't have been there in the first place.
I think she was somebody that got brought in to try to get Wanda to snap out of this, and it's just not working. And she got found out, and then Wanda booted her.
Yeah. You also noticed the next door neighbors. Well, Agnes and the guy that was cutting through. Yeah, Herb, the one that was cutting through the concrete block. They were sitting there trying to get through to Vision, but they just couldn't quite bring themselves to
They couldn't talk to him. Yeah, they couldn't break the news, I guess.
Yeah,
to him.
It was almost like something was holding them back.
Yeah.
I think that was the nefarious part of it. I think they were holding back. I don't think that they were holding back because they didn't want to tell him. I think they were just giving him tidbits to chew on and eventually try to turn him away from Wanda more than to help him. I think that everybody in the town, everybody in the town is suspect to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see it. I mean, that's my vision of it. So, vision, but
Nice one, Mark.
That's how I see it. But I keep on interrupting everybody. I'm sorry.
No, honey, go. It's fine. I'm glad you're doing it because I'm learning. I'm the novice. Me and Jeff are like, we don't know what you're talking about, but now we're interested.
Dave Bob touched on it real. Dave Bob was right, but I mean, it's with her coming in. She was like the radio, like with what's the guy's name from Shield that was trying to get through to her. Dave Bob helped me on this one.
Cho?
Was it Jimmy Cho?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Jimmy Choo, but that's freaking shoes.
She was. I think Monica was the next step in getting in touch with her, like you said, like Dave Bob said, like you said, of trying to get her to realize that something's not right. And I think she knows that it's not right. She's putting up mental blocks and shields to make it to where it's right for her.
Yes. What did
she
you
wants
guys
to be
think?
in her comfort zone, and anything that pushes her out of that comfort zone, she attacks or rewinds or whatever. She's not going to let go of it. That's her reality, and she's not going to let go of it.
Right.
Yeah, it's why I'm more inclined to think that she's the one who's actually in control. She's not being held prisoner somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm almost sure that, she's the one causing everything, and everybody else is just trying to contain it.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to contain the blowback And thank you, Mexican redheaded lover man.
Thank you, Poppy.
I was going to say, that's Poppy. And he says, my donation to the Valkyries, adopt a Mexican for the weekend fun. So do it. Let's prove the Valkyries are stunning and brave and support diversity and inclusion. LOL, giggity, giggity, giggity.
Jimmy Woo.
Leave it to Mike.
Yep. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man.
Thank you,
Mwah.
sweetheart.
Got you.
And it's Jimmy Woo. Thank you, guys.
Jimmy Woo. Yeah, thank you, guys. Like, it can't be Jimmy Choo. That's a shoe designer.
Close enough.
Hey, we got the Jimmy right.
Yeah, we got the Jimmy part right. Yeah. Thank God for that.
What did you guys think of the advert that was used for this episode? Because it didn't seem to be attached to anything particularly traumatic. Do you think it was more to do with the pregnancy?
There was just, I think, another hint that Hydra is up to something too. Obviously.
Or it's a red herring.
Yeah.
Also possible. Yeah. Or that she's making up Hydra because she spent so many years under Hydra control
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
as a child.
Von Strucker.
Yeah, when we had that in the first couple episodes, that Strucker watch,
Mm-hmm.
Product of Hydra kind of thing.
It's also it kind of described what was going on in the episode as well with her. She's in her comfort zone, like Dave Bob just touched on just a second ago. She's within her comfort zone, and everything was comfortable. And that was the woman was trying to get away from all the bad parts of life to relax, and that's what she keeps on resetting to. And this is her idea of being correct, of everything that's right in the world,
Right.
in her broken state. So, I mean, psychologically, this show could go so many different directions right now, and it's interesting.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode because I want to see how it progresses with the twins. I had to laugh because those babies are huge.
Oh, they were monstrous. I'm like, God, they're like 8 months old.
They're liable to be 10 years old the next episode.
Yeah.
I love the way Visual was trying to calculate, when she was going to be due and all that. And
That was pretty funny.
Coming now. I thought it was going to be next Tuesday. Well, I didn't take into account, Poor Vision.
Mexican Iron Man says, I think these Wanda shows, each and every one so far, is an anthology or table of contents for 1, its characters, 2, other shows, and 3, the universe to follow thereafter. Yep.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I can't disagree with that.
So I'm definitely looking forward to see where it goes. And like you guys have already touched on, it's keeping people talking. How many times have we gone back and said, oh, I didn't see this part, I'm going to have to go back and find it, or somebody's found an Easter egg, and you have to go back and find the Easter egg and see, okay, so now this is here, so how does this tie into this part that happened later on in the episode?
Yeah.
And I think you guys touched on it earlier, the stalk, why couldn't she get rid of the stalk when she kept trying to kind of flush it away?
Yeah. I love the way that the aspect ratio at the end changed too.
That was cool.
Full screen, whenever she pitched Geraldine out, through the
Can we touch on that a little bit as well? Because I think that kind of throws out the idea that it's an alternate pocket universe, because it looks like it's a town that she's surrounded in a bubble.
Yeah. I noticed the lights, the stadium lights that were shining. There was these flashes of kind of static.
Yeah, it looked like TV static when she came.
Yeah,
getting flung through there, it was like TV static.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, poor Geraldine is lying on the ground and surrounded by armed men, which I think are shield, not sword. But I could be wrong. This is where I have to rely on you guys for your knowledge.
Well, you never did. I never did see anything that gave away, who they were.
Me either.
There wasn't any logos or anything on the cars.
But they did have that whole area lit up with them spotlights and everything all around that whatever bubble she was in.
Yeah.
They had that thing.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of, the first Thor movie when Mjolnir lands and they just set up this kind of base around it.
Yeah, exact same feeling.
Like Thor. Yeah.
Yeah, right there with you, Purple.
I think you even said that, Jeff, when we were watching it last night. Yeah.
Thought Jeff would have said that. Yeah.
I don't get the comic references, but by God, if it was in one of the movies, I'm there.
That's okay. That's kind of how I am. I have to rely on Dave, Bob, Purple, and Mark for my comic book knowledge. So,
can you guys explain the aspect ratio? Because I don't really remember the TV being any different.
Well, the thing about it is I think it's an analogy right now. They went from black and white to color, and now they're going from color to the full screen aspect ratio. Now, 4:3 at the time, that was all the old TVs could show. And if you look at old episodes of anything, you always have the borders cropped. So, that's pretty much, I think it's just a progression, kind of like her life. And like I said, started in black and white, went to color, now it's going to full screen. So
to the 16:9, right?
Yes, that means we're progressing from the 60s into late 70s or into 80s
or 90s.
Yeah.
Or 90s, yeah. Because I'm with Positive Candor. I think the aspect ratio occurred at the end of the 70s, moving into the widescreen of the 80s.
Okay.
No.
But I again, I'm technologically derp, so I have to rely on Generalissimo Jefe for technology.
No, that just seems way wrong. I don't think we hit the wider stuff at home until the 90s.
Yeah.
Like the early 90s, like 92, 93, 94, somewhere around there.
Yeah. You could be right, guys. I'm not sure.
But that's out of my league too. I'm in this more for the story than to paying attention to the aspect ratio of what's going on.
Right. I mean, that's just one thing that caught me at the end of the episode before Geraldine gets spat out into this world. It's just like, what the hell?
Boy, she sure looked dazed laying there on the ground too.
Yeah, like she didn't know what the hell just happened.
Yeah, she looked like she'd failed. Like whatever her mission was, she's like, crap. I didn't do it.
Yeah. Shit. Epic fail. It didn't go so well. Hey, NB Geek, how you doing? Oh, and by the way, Mexican Iron Man, we are happy to adopt you.
Absolutely.
Not a problem.
You'll never get rid of him now. You're stuck with him.
Oh, I know. He'll be stuck in a wife beater on our couch eating popcorn. That's fine.
And ice cream.
And drinking all your Fanta.
Oh, yeah. You can take over my orange Fanta.
Thank you, Dark Shadow Logan. He says widescreen was in the 90s with the advent of TVs like the HD Sony Vega TV line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. The Vegas. I forgot about that.
Yep. 1996.
Oh, holy shit.
There it goes. I just found it.
Dang. Well, that jumps a little bit
than I
further ahead.
realized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting it to jump into the 80s because then you get shows like Roseanne, that kind of.
Yeah, and I thought there was a little. Oh, no, wait. They're going with Family Ties instead of Roseanne.
Okay.
I remember that from the early advertisements. And I think Fat Steven Seagal said something about that as well.
Okay.
The other night on Loki's show.
I didn't really notice it. When did they cut over to the 16:9 ratio? Was it when they broke into reality?
end.
Or
It was-
another time?
It was Wanda just right after Vision asked her where Geraldine went. And then she said, oh, she had to leave. And then it went from the 4:3 out to the widescreen.
Oh, well, that makes total sense because now we're actually in the modern real world.
Mhm.
We're no longer in the fake TV world, which is the 4:3 ratio. We're in the real world, which is 16:9.
Right.
Yes. I think
That makes sense.
it's going to stick with the 16:9 as well now. Also, because obviously we've progressed the way it went into color in the last episode.
I don't think so. I think it'll go back. I'd be willing to bet you $1 it'll go back to the 4:3 because the next week's episode is before HDTV came out.
True. Very
And
true.
I bet there's going to be a clear. I like this. I think that there's a clear definition between the real world and the TV world.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to wait till Friday to find out.
Yeah, it looks like Louise agrees. Yeah, it's to show the difference between what's actually going on and what's going on inside whatever reality Wanda's controlling.
Okay.
Supposedly
that.
controlling.
And this brings me back to the loop about the Mojo verse again, and I hate to keep bringing it up, but he is completely about TV and ratings.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is all he is about. He basically the Mojo verse is one big TV studio.
Yeah, so this could almost be a sort of kind of Truman Show that's reality.
Oh my God, yeah. Ding.
But I can't wait to see the next episode.
You just
Me neither.
blew Samantha Joe's mind with that one.
Yeah, my mind just helped. Truman Show, holy shit. Yeah, my brain just exploded. I'm sorry, guys. There's gray matter everywhere.
Kingsman.
Yeah, right? The Kingsman. Ladies, I'm adopted. Okay, driving over now in my van and leaving behind the mystery love parking spot. down by
the river.
Down by the river, yeah. Start the popcorn. Clear off the couch. Drinking less Fanta on my way. Oh, shit.
Oh my gosh.
Chris does bring up a good point there.
Yeah.
Might also reference from Full House and 80s nostalgia, considering one, her sisters played Michelle. Oh, yeah. And Uncle Jesse had twin boys.
So I'm going to
That would be a weird Easter egg.
Plead ignorance on that one because I've never seen Full House.
That would be a weird Easter egg. I didn't even consider that. Holy shit. Yeah, that's right. She's the sister to the Olsen twins. Duh.
That's a pretty meta reference if that's the case.
That's huge. That's like, whoa.
Oh my god.
Definitely the better looking out of all the Olsen sisters.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, she's also the most talented. Yeah. I still love the chemistry that the two of them have together on screen.
Mm-hmm. They've got a great chemistry. Positive Candor, why are we canceling Purple Valkyrie?
Oh, I haven't seen Full House.
Oh, busted.
You're not missing anything.
No. You're really not.
I vaguely know of it, but I've never seen it.
Okay. Just save yourself the grief. Don't bother. It's old TV show.
Cheesy late 80s, early 90s comedy.
Yeah.
And it's not very good.
Nope. The acting
Using comedy in a very judicious term.
it was juvenile humor is basically what it was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Taglines and whatnot.
I would say crack in one episode in the middle of season 3 just so you've got the character references, and that's all you need to know.
He's right.
Pretty much.
He's right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That'll be my homework for next week in preparation.
Yeah, that's your homework.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 22-minute episode. Just bust out one and you're good.
So I get the reference for the next one. It's like,
Oh, now I get it.
Just don't come
Okay,
back
guys.
famous when you do it.
Right. Overall, what are you guys giving this episode since we've reached the top of the hour and it's time for us to wrap up? Dave Bob?
I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Cool. Mark?
Just because it's keeping me intrigued.
Oh, okay. It's sucking you in.
I'm gonna go just a tad bit higher and say 8.2. It's continuing the story quite well, and I'm very into this story. This has me, like I said earlier, and I'm a big Star Wars fan. This has me more into it than The Mandalorian had me in season 1 and season 2. So
Wow.
it's got me, it's pulled me in, and I'm not letting go. So I say 8.2.
Cool.
Okay. Generalissimo Heife?
I'm giving it in the 8s as well. It's definitely still keeping me interested. It's keeping me thinking about it. Even after I'm not watching the show, I'm sitting here thinking about it and trying to decipher it. And this is obviously a fairly standard point when you look at how these series go. This is the point when it pivots and you start seeing the outside world more and more. I'd be willing to bet that even in the next episode, we see more of whatever this is in the outside or real world. I think that's going to start playing more of a part. And this is a pivot episode where you start seeing that, and they still pulled it off pretty well. So yeah, considering how much we're thinking about it and trying to decipher it and all that, yeah, I'm with Mark. I give it somewhere in the 8s.
Awesome. What about you, Sammy?
I'm feeling a solid 8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sucked in, like Dave Bob said. I'm getting sucked into the episodes, and I'm just like, okay, I want to see what happens next. Hey, I mentioned Fat Steven, and he showed up.
Hey.
Hi, Fat Steven.
I love how in depth that Fat Steven is going with this. He's
Deep dive
the other day with the things that he's found. I was like, how have we not seen this already?
I know. He did that deep dive, and I went back and watched the episodes, and was like, holy shit.
He goes way beyond deep.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
that was in the Marianas Trench. It was so deep.
Yeah.
Purple.
I would agree with you guys. I'm going to give it 8. I really like the direction it's going. I think it's really tight written. I love the chemistry between the actors, and I do like that it wasn't quite as focused on the sitcom elements this episode. It was more about what's going on with Wanda, but you still had it in the background. I think I do like the way it's progressing through time. I think that's a really clever idea, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode. I can't wait.
Me too. It's like, damn it, weekly. Fuck. NB Geek, remember to have Mountain Dew Code Red to remember Admiral OF Doom. If I could drink soda, I would totally be down with that.
Mm-hmm.
We paid our respects, Jesse, at the beginning of the show. You'll have to go back and watch it if you can. Yeah, I can't drink soda, but I will find a way to honor his memory. There is a full moon this week, and that for me is a high holiday. So I will be paying my respects to him and praying for his soul. I know that he is looking down on us right now. So
yeah, I lit a candle for him last night.
I'll be lighting several. So thank you, Jesse, for bringing that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse, and thank you guys for joining us again. You guys come back next week for the next episode.
Sure.
Oh, Cardinal Sin just had a question.
Oh yeah.
You didn't. Okay, Cardinal Sin. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but yesterday we found out Admiral Doom had a massive heart attack and passed away. So yeah. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Cardinal Sin. But we'll be hold on, let me word. Rambling Canuck did a beautiful show last night. I did not get to see it, unfortunately. I've gotten cliff notes from everybody who was there, and it was a wonderful show. So if you can find that on Rambling Canucks channel, actually it's History with R&R.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is.
If you could, and so find that on that channel, and it was a wonderful tribute. It was very sweet.
It was a really lovely show. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. We're gonna get all misty again, and I don't. Oh my gosh! So, guys, thank you so much. Yes, will you guys join us next week for the next episode?
Sure.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Jeff be like, yeah, sure. I don't have a choice.
Might even go buy some comic books to read up a little bit so I can have a little bit more information.
Yeah, I might have to get into this Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if you're going to start with Mojo, it's going to take a while to take all that in. That starts with the Long Shot miniseries, and goes through a lot of the 80s and 90s X-Men, and those comics are still up there in a little bit of value. I haven't looked lately, but
gotcha.
if you were mobile, I'd gladly loan you all of them, because they're all sitting in a box and in storage. So I would gladly let you borrow them to read them. But you know, being a couple hundred miles,
I'm not in Mobile, and I don't trust the mail.
You're not in Mobile, and I'm not, and I'm not mailing them. So
no,
but I mean,
no, sir.
If you could look up any referencing towards the Mojo verse and Mojo and read that.
Okay.
And also, I mean, look at, and also go into anything about Wanda and Vision. Look up the stuff about Scarlet Witch and Vision. It'll help you. It'll help you break down the story a little bit better.
Okay, I'll do that.
And then they'll probably pull the rug out from under you and have nothing to do with it anyway.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, probably, but you know, it was worth researching.
It was. It was.
Gave me something. Gave me some reading material. Gave me something to do.
Yep.
Huge thank you, guys, for joining us. Massive thank you to the chat for being with us today. Just under an hour, if you guys are on the Discord, we have a Discord in Valhalla, so we'll be there. If not, we will see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, and Monday, don't forget, big announcement.
Yes.
Big. It's huge. It's going to be big. So thank y'all.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. You guys have a good weekend, and we will see you tomorrow.